that this period of Lent and Easter will touch the heart of those who are sponsoring violence in Imo State, who are taking lives, letting innocent blood, that God will touch their hearts to repent. These people are just wicked politicians. If anybody tells you that IPOB is the one killing people in Oluzon, it is not correct. They hire hoodlums from outside Imo State. They bring them in pretending to be IPOB, and they commit this crime and they they go away. What happened in Imo State last Monday is unbelievable. A group of hoodlums, of course sponsored by some known politicians in Imo State, decided to destroy public infrastructure and government facilities.
So
the IPOB man, Bazinam Kanu,
to watch this video to the end,
and building lasting peace in Igbo land.
is happening all over Nigeria.
I want to draw our attention to what insecurity is all about.
Happening in Igbo land, and the one that is happening in part of Igbo land, they are tagging it to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu and Eastern Security Network. Even though when you and I know that Eastern Security Network is no more functioning since Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is being kidnapped, and those who work under Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which called what are they called, XDOS, sold the security, the Eastern Security Network to some politicians. So let me not just waste time here, because this video may be long, you understand, because something happened last 2 weeks in Enugu State, where Fulanis went and kidnapped a seminarian and some other people in church. And even Udele, somebody like Udele, is tagging it to be our people, Igbos, that kidnapped Igbos in the church. I watched the video where Udele is saying that those who kidnapped those guys is Igbos, our people. Then I think recently, very recently, it happened that police combined with a forest guard went and rescued those that was kidnapped in the church about 2 weeks ago, about 2 Sundays ago, and arrest the Fulanis, that the 3 Fulanis that is involved of that kidnapping. So if not that they did not arrest those people, Udele would have been saying that is Igbos, the way he normally say. So let me just leave you here to watch. One thing you should help me do in this video is to like, comment, and share this video. Maybe the other video that will be coming after this, I will bring you the video of what happened in Enugu State. One thing I want you to help me do in this video is to like, comment, and share this video, and hear what exactly they are saying about insecurity in Igbo land. The insecurity that is happening all over Nigeria, the one that is happening in Igbo land, is being tagged to Igbos and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. So let's watch. God bless you.
Imo State currently is passing through a trying period. Imo State is passing through a trying period, a period where things that were not known before to us are happening. The killing of innocent human beings, the burning of government assets and public assets, burning down police stations, local governments, politics with bitterness. We have been confronted with this situation. We have done our best as Christians not to follow the old law of an eye for an eye, We've been praying to Almighty God, and it was our hope and expectation that this period of Lent and Easter will touch the heart of those who are sponsoring violence in Imo State, who are taking lives, letting innocent blood, that God will touch their hearts to repent. These people are just wicked politicians. If anybody tells you that IPOB is the one killing people in Oluzon, it is not correct. Wicked politicians are sponsoring the killings in Olu.
So this is Hope Uzodinma telling you that people that is sponsoring insecurity in Imo State is politicians, and you people know how Hope Uzodinma become governor of Imo State. Somebody, Emeka Ihedioha, was the person that was pronounced as the winner of governor Imo State then, and one thing led to another. They removed Emeka Ihedioha and installed Hope Uzodinma, and since then Imo State never remained the same. And that thing that is happening in Imo State, instead of them to a kind of know the problem of their know what caused their problem and the insecurity in Imo State, they are now tagging it to Mazi and Namdekano and Eastern Security Network. And you and I know that Eastern Security Network is all over Biafra land, including coastal region. It's all over Biafra land. The question you should ask yourself is, why is it that the Eastern Security Network in Imo State are causing havoc, according to some people, that is tagging insecurity that is happening in Imo State to Mazen and Eastern Security Network? Why is it like that? But I will prove it here to you. So I think you have heard from the governor of Imo State telling you that what is happening in Imo State is not caused by IPOB, that it is being sponsored by wicked politicians. And not only even politicians, sometimes they bring all this repentant Boko Haram they call military to begin to buy people in their land. Still, they are tagging it to Mazen and Eastern Security Network. So let me leave you to hear from Hope Uzodinma again, to know that Hope Uzodinma did not say this thing only here. Hope Uzodinma said it in many different occasions. Make you not think that it's only here that Hope Uzodinma said it. He said it in many places. So let's watch.
They hire hoodlums from outside Imo State. They bring them in pretending to be IPOB, and they commit this crime and they they go away. So it is not about IPOB. Yes, we agree. We have aggrieved IPOB members, but I can tell you, those who are doing this destruction, most of them were brought from outside Imo State.
So my people, I think I don't hear from Hope Uzodinma, the governor of Imo State, telling you that the insecurity happening in Imo State is being sponsored by politicians. You understand? And you hear him say that those hoodlum that is causing problem in Imo State is being hired. Then you may ask, who are those that is being hired for outside Imo State to come and cause problem in Imo State? Is Asare Dokubo and his boys. You understand? It's Asare Dokubo and his boys. So whenever you are listening and hearing some people saying that, like Udele, somebody like Udele, saying that the insecurity happening in our land is caused by Igbos, that person is not telling you the truth. Is a Fulani enablers. You understand? Like what happened in Enugu State recently, where that last 2 Sundays, a Sunday before this Sunday, last Sunday, Fulani went to church in Enugu State and kidnapped a seminarian and maybe some others. And Udele come out and said that those who kidnapped people in that church are not Fulanis, that it is Igbos. But I thank God, God so kind. Something happened recently that Enugu State Police and Forest Guard went and arrest those who they went and rescued those that were kidnapped last 2 Sundays, and arrested the Fulanis that behind the kidnapped of that seminarian and some others. So I will allow you here now to hear just to listen for yourself and hear what happened. The first video you just watch now, before the video of the rescue of the seminarian, is what happened that day, that Sunday. You understand? So one thing you should help me do in this video is to like, comment, and share this video for others to watch and know that the insecurity happening in Biafra land is not causing by it is not being caused by our people. It's caused by Fulanis, because insecurity is all over Nigeria. So let's watch and listen and hear how these people were rescued. Let's watch.
The kidnapped victims were all recovered and they have been returned safe. None of them lost their lives, all were harmed. The security forces made sure in our recovery process that we were very particular about safeguarding lives. Usually in endeavors like this, the criminality of this process has an economic component, which is ransom. For us, and in this particular operations, with the gentlemen, our very fine collaborators in the DSS and the military, part of what was used was the ransom amount as bait, as part of our strategy. That was not the only strategy. And once this operation was completed and considered successful, the amount of monies that were paid were all fully recovered. And that some of them are the things you see. The arms that were involved in this criminality, we have recovered all of them in the custody of the security agencies that handled this operation. So yes, ransoms were paid, but they have all been recovered completely. They were used strictly as strategy, and we have it, and nobody was killed. I reiterate again, nobody was killed. But I must point something out here, and that is the role that informants, local informants, play in this process. We have found out over.
So my people, I think I don't see them now. If those that kidnapped the seminarian and others were not to be arrested, would they have tagged it to our people? Would they have tagged it to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu boys? Would they have tagged it to Mazi Simon Ekpa boys? Would they have tagged it to innocent Igbos? But God are so kind that those behind the atrocities was arrested. Yes, they was arrested. So now I want you to listen to this man you are seeing on my screen now. There is what he is saying about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and insecurity in Igbo land. For you to know that the insecurity in Igbo land, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the only solution to the insecurity that is happening in our territory. You understand? He is the only solution, but because the Fulanis thought when they remove Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they will pave way for their Fulanis to invade our people. But they have seen it that even if they removed Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, they still don't have access to invade our people. So I want you to listen to this man to hear what he's saying about Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and the security in our land. Please don't forget to like, comment, and share this video for others to watch. God bless you. Let's watch.
The IPOB man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and building lasting peace in Igbo land. I want to draw our attention to what insecurity is all about. Insecurity is just like death. If somebody dies and is not related to you, you may not feel it much. Same with insecurity. If your wife has been kidnapped, you will understand what it is to be kidnapped. If you are in a kidnap den with the kidnappers, you understand it. But when we are not there, we take it the way we are taking it maybe right now. I think if we have been doing this all this while, we won't be in the shit that we are today. Our problem started since 1970, when we fought a war that we didn't need to fight that war. I remember my father told me when he went to collect his body, he had about 10,000 pounds in the bank, and they gave him 20 naira. He came home and he couldn't talk again. The following day he died. Until today, nobody has told me or said, oh boy, sorry, we have been following it, and perhaps if I didn't have a better living, maybe I would have joined the bad boys. But God forbid. So what I'm trying to say now is that we need to address some of these unhealed wounds from the Civil War until what we're having today. Like the issue of these boys, I know that over 5,000 youths, small young boys have been killed within Igbo land in the last, from about 2015 till date. There are several of them in prison yards, like the Wawa prison in Niger State. So many of them who are held, nobody has even the confidence to go near. And so I want to plead to the governors of Southeast that we are talking of lasting peace. There's need for us to come together, the governors, to come together and see how we can get those ones out. The boys who were just arrested for one thing or the other, they really need to investigate some of them. And those who are not guilty should be freed, because these are some of the problems we are having. And the issue of the IPOB man, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I want to also plead with the governors. If Mr. President, I know he can listen to them, to grant him presidential pardon. These are some of the things that are building. People will not talk about it. It takes somebody who has the guts to say it out. Though people don't want to talk about these things, but we need to talk about it because that is where our problem started. And I want to say again that this issue of federal character, so to say, if you are three in a class, from 3 different tribes, and you score 300 marks, and you are denied admission into federal university, somebody else scores 200, he's given admission because he's from a different tribe from you. Some other person scores 50, is given admission in the same federal university. In a country where there are so many state universities, there are so many private universities. I think when we started that program after the Civil War, we were supposed to give ourselves a timeline that after about 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, we should have balanced up, and then we begin to give people equal opportunities. So when you find somebody who has been refused admission, 300 marks, and you see somebody he was better than in going to university, what does he do after that? Some of them take to crime. Some of them go into cultism. Some of them go into drug, and so on and so forth, prostitution and whatever. And so these are some of the problems we really need to address. And if we do not want to address the issue of mediocrity, because that's how we find it, if you can take somebody who is not qualified to give you the job because you are trying to balance up, then it's not going to work very well for the country. So I'm just calling on the governors to please see how they can convince the National Assembly and Mr. President so that there may be a review of this issue of federal character. We have done it for almost 60 years. So we need to review it so that we can correct some of these issues. The issue of migration. Many of our children are outside this land. We don't ask questions. Why are they running away? Insecurity is one of the problems. Job opportunities is another one. They are everywhere. There are people today who are in IDP camps, not only in the southeast, the whole Nigeria. People have stayed 15 years in IDP camps. And we are launching roads, we are launching projects, and we are not caring about those people in IDP camps. The children that you bear in IDP camps may not be the best of children for our society. We need to look at what we are going to do with all those people who have been displaced. Is it either by erosion, or by herders-farmers clashes, or by communal clashes? The state governors, the local government chairmen should see to it that there are people who are displaced to come back to their communities. Those who are driven away by erosion should be given alternative land where they resettle. These are some of the problems that are creating the problems we are finding. If you go to Abuja, Go to Nyanya and see the number of people there. They are all left the villages. And if our villages were to be safe for us, I think more than 90% of people idling away in Abuja wouldn't be there. They will be home. Even the traditional rulers who are supposed to be part of the people to give confidence in our communities, they have all eloped. So we need to address these issues. I was thinking that we should have traditional rulers here when we are talking about issue of addressing insecurity in our land. They are supposed to be here because these are people who are supposed to be very close to the people. These are people who are supposed to pass information and intelligence to our security agencies such that those very few criminals in our communities, the people killing people, people making sit at home, what we call sit at home, enforcing sit at home and disturbing the life of people and the economy of the people. Very few boys in a town, you may have less than 50 of them causing problems. The traditional rulers will run away and all the allies will leave, including most of us who are living in Abuja, in Lagos. We have run away from our villages. So what do we expect? If not that these criminals will continue to harass our people. There is need for us to reconsider our stand. We need to encourage those of us who are living out to start coming home too, to mix with our people so that we can be able to correct some of them. These young people need mentorship. We need to give it to them. They need training. A lot of them are frustrated. And so if we come close to them, if we are encouraged to come close, I think the situation will be better. Then the issue of now there is something happening. The 19 northern state governors just recently agreed that they are going to be contributing 1 billion naira each every month to address insecurity. They are going to use the retired military personnel and police personnel to work with them to make sure that they address the issue of insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria. I know that in the west, Amotekun is doing very well. Now, if we in the southeast feel that we cannot do anything, we were happy the way we are, I bet you the criminals that will be driven away from the north, when they start clamping down on them, in the next 6 months to 1 year, most of them will run down to the southeast, and they are going to be another problem to us. So I'm pleading with the governors that there's need for them to come together and have a fund and bring us, the veterans who are retired, we have experience, you can use us, so that we can work with our traditional rulers and our community policing. We can be the ones to train the people in community policing, and we'll be able to secure our environment better than we have it today. Now, let me just talk a little bit